I imagine his mental conversation with this painting to be the most interesting. What was in his mind as he was hovering here and scratching and watching paint interact? It's really about materiality, but he's pulling in a lot of things that tell us where his mind is going and leaves open for us to imagine exactly what the lesson is. My name is Jennifer Katanik. I work in the accounting department here at the Museum of Modern Art. This painting is by Henri Matisse. It is called The Piano Lesson from 1916. What interested me in the painting was this section over here with an open window that we also know from Matisse's previous artworks. In 1914, he had a very important conversation with Pablo Picasso. They arranged a studio visit through the acquaintanceship of Gertrude Stein. Matisse, at the time, had arranged to show a self-portrait to Picasso. And when Picasso begrudgingly took up the invitation, he noticed that there was no self-portrait of Matisse, but rather the window of his home. And he expressed in a kind of taunting way to Picasso that expecting to see a painting of a well-known artist, a picture of who he was ridiculous, and that Matisse was going to school him and take him a little deeper into the conversation of what the interior life of an artist was. And so they had a really deep and very good conversation. You can notice here in the face of Matisse's son, who was actually 19 at the time, he looks very young here, this pie-like shape of a salmon color that's also registered in this curtain above. I think this is a little nod to Picasso. And so it's interesting to me because we're in a World War I moment where I do think there's a sense of wanting to make home. The world has shifted and changed. For a while, he was out of his home, which was requisitioned as a barracks. Coming back to Paris in this new moment, this kind of new engagement, is interesting to me because in essence, he's opening his window wide to all of this grayness, which I think at this particular moment is not only what he's expressed it was in the past, but it's also the grayness of that feeling that comes after a war and having to engage once again. And that to me is a kind of letting in of the city of Paris, kind of letting that gray wash over him. I think it's really wonderful though, just to take a moment and understand that these colors, the grays, the pinks, the greens, these were not his normal choices. And even in the green, which he had used before, it doesn't have the verve of the green of the past. It has a little bit of a behavioral change. Everything in this picture, I think, has an ability to show us that this moment is different from some of the moments that came before. And I like the fact that we have to kind of tease out what that might mean.